In today's video, we are trying out some fun experiments with obsolete technology.
Guys, we've got CDs, and we've got these CDs because you guys have asked to see us do fun stuff with them. Experiments with CDs isn't a new thing. We've seen lots of other YouTubers do stuff with them, but we've never done it, and you keep asking. So we're gonna try some of these things and see how it turns out.
This is hypnotizing.
Okay.
Here's the basic idea. We have a lot of CDs. Some are in perfect condition and some are very scratched up. What can we do with these, and is it possible to save them?
So we've got a stack of new CDs, believe it or not, they still sell these. And then we have some older CDs, mostly of Callie's, because several years ago, I just threw all of my CDs out because I hadn't listened to them in 10 years. CDs do predate me in terms of music by a little bit, like when they started selling music on them. But for them to gain popularity and then for them to be a thing that just anyone could use, buying a writable CD, putting it in your computer and using it to transfer data from one computer to another.
Portable Discmans, like it was a thing for a while that like, if you had a little Discman that could play a CD, it would be like a non-skipping, so you could jog or run with it. And if it didn't skip while you were running, that was like a big thing.
CDs don't have a whole lot of place left in the world of music listening compared to just digital music. It's so much easier. Data, we have thumb drives to transfer data. It's faster, it's quicker, it's smaller, it's much less fragile. I mean, that exploded right there. That was fun.
Next time I'm gonna have my glasses on.
That really, I thought it was just gonna crack, honestly. It exploded everywhere.
That was beautiful.
That
We're gonna be finding that for years.
That doesn't really happen with thumb drives.
No.
But they do still have CDs. They still have their place and purpose in the world. And so we want to play with them.
Yeah, just a few things. And believe it or not, they still sell CD players. I found this one today. It doesn't sound great.
But how much did you pay for it?
$20.
All right, so yeah, you could get better ones.
It sounds like I spent $20 on it. So there are a lot of things that I have seen on the internet that you can do with CDs. Some are just simple craft projects, and then some are truly bizarre. And lots of YouTubers have tried these different things, but it's our turn to play. So something you showed me I didn't know was possible. You can blow bubbles with CDs.
So the actual plastic that a CD is made from, if you heat it up just right, it can thin out remarkably. And if you do that by blowing onto it, you can get just these crazy, long, weird, tube-shaped bubbles. So we're gonna do a little bit of that.
Okay.
This is fun. I'm just gonna put a light scratch in the surface of this disc. So we've ruined it. You can see the scratches on the other side. That would basically not work at all anymore. So we'll try it with duct tape here. So yeah, I scratched a little bit of it and then that's
just plastic.
Yeah, I smushed the tape down over it and then peeled it right off, and it sticks to the tape better than it sticks to the plastic of the CD. So you can see it there.
You could literally just pull the data off of these.
All right, let's see if we can get the whole CD.
So far, so good. Wow, I'm glad I didn't know about this 20 years ago. I would have been a monster child. Oh my gosh.
Whole CD removed.
That is fantastic.
So if there were any data on that, that's where it would all be. So that line right there, that is where the data ends. There's just nothing past that, which means most of the CD wasn't used. Some of it was.
This is a much older CD than the ones we bought at the store yesterday.
Okay, can you see? I don't really see any of it.
Yeah, once you took it off, it's much harder to see. Am I seeing it on this?
Yeah, you can
Weird.
still see.
So maybe it is
data film,
actually on the plastic. Is this just reflecting it back onto the laser?
Maybe.
Okay.
We learn things.
We did. Reverse engineering without engineering anything.
So with our plastic stripped of all of its metallic data, so the idea is you take fire and you heat very slowly some of the plastic until it begins to sag. A bubble will sort of form sagging down under the plastic, and at that point the plastic is really soft, and then we'll blow into it and hopefully it makes a nice bubble. That bubble has started to sag. Now I'm just gonna blow into it like I'm blowing soap bubbles. That was curious.
Oh, I got stuck on the other one. But it did work.
Yeah.
That seems like the right amount of heat.
That seems like a little too much in my book, but what do I know? Blow, blow. Ready?
Yeah!
So Callie is working on a little art piece, and while she finishes that up, I'm going to try something else. I learned this from Crazy Russian Hacker. It's how to make like a tiny little balloon-powered hovercraft kind of thing. Not something you can ride on, but that should drive around the table. So this is the top of a soap bottle, just like kitchen soap. I've torn off the little lid, and now I'm just gonna use a knife to smooth it down a little bit, and I'm gonna fit a balloon over this whole thing after taping it to a CD. I'll throw a piece of tape over this as well, just to make sure it's kind of smooth and doesn't tear our balloon. Our balloon is pretty well attached here. I'm going to try blowing it up, and then the goal is we set it down, and as the air slowly escapes, it creates an air cushion, and it can just sort of like hover around the table more than it does now. Now it just doesn't.
I wonder if it'd work better on the granite table.
Much smoother surface than our workbench. It is working though, like it's definitely hovering around and sliding.
It is.
But this is not a super smooth surface, it's true.
So I'm very upset that I burned the top because I really wasn't going for this when I started. When I was a bronze sculptor, I did an entire wreath of roses for a headpiece, and it was very similar to how I'm shaping this, but the method I'm using is very similar to glass blowing. So this whole process is just absolutely ridiculous. And if I were to see something like this on Pinterest, this would be one of those DIY did you do that, but I'm doing it. I made a trash rose.
So you just melted down sort of the corners until it would stick, stuck it on, then added more heat to make it pliable, shaped it a bit, and that also cracked it up quite a bit and give it that reflective, crackly texture. And then you just like trimmed some of the corners to round it off. And
yeah,
not bad.
It works
pretty cool.
Surprisingly, shockingly like glass blowing, but it doesn't take nearly the heat. So I was able to clip it and form it much easier than I have with glass in the past. So something that I want to try. CDs are more or less obsolete for some people now just because we do have digital music. However, this is a very old CD of mine and it is scratched. I've heard so many different methods of ways that people used to try to fix their scratched CD, from bananas and peanut butter to car polisher. So hopefully we can maybe keep this CD from skipping with a rubbing compound.
Looking at it, there's a couple of somewhat aggressive scratches right here and right here. And I know that those are there because I did that with sandpaper earlier. And I used a really fine grit sandpaper. This is 320, it's very mild. And I actually did have to go in a second time because after the first pass, so this was just, I would do a single pass and then we'd test if it was working, and I did another pass and then it stopped working. So now we have a CD that is scratched to the point of it not playing. We want to see if we can bring that back.
And for some reason, we're trying to revive not just an Aqua CD, but an Aqua Remix Edition CD. There's a reason we chose this one to skip. Not that I didn't love Aqua, but sure enough, still struggling. Okay.
That's not how the song normally goes. It's a remix, so I don't know.
That's a little bit too much. So let's see what we can do.
I don't know Aqua songs.
Supposedly you put the rubbing compound on first, and you just go in tiny circles, you rinse it off, and then you put the polishing stuff
So we'll start with this one.
Yes, this tiny bit. I still see the scratch, but I have buffed this until it's drying. So now we're gonna rinse it off.
And then you said the next is the plastic polish?
Yep, let's see what happens. This is the most well auto-bodied CD in the history of CDs. I have my doubts Let's see.
I mean, the scratches are still visible. It does somewhat look less.
This CD's playing. This one's playing, this one wasn't.
Let's give it a try. It fixed it.
We brought Aqua back to life in 2019. Guys, apparently auto body, rubbing compound, and polish will fix your CD.
There was probably a time in my life I would have really liked to know that.
Right?
At this point in my life, I doubt I'll ever use it again, but maybe. All right, one more thing that we want to try, and it's something that everyone has known about in the past. It may be a bit of lost knowledge, but maybe a lot of people have seen it on YouTube. And that is throwing CDs in a microwave. Here's how it works, basically. You take the CD, you put it in the microwave. You can see it's still nicely stained with smoke and popcorn butter.
Great.
Gross. And then you turn it on.
About 3 seconds later.
It's gonna be hard to see through the door, but you can see the effect. And in this microwave, we actually also get some plasma. Yeah.
Nice.
Not all microwaves will give you the plasma. This one, it seems to happen pretty readily. And here is the resulting CD.
Wow.
Wow.
Gosh.
Like,
it's like
this is
Tron.
seriously probably the best CD microwaving footage that's ever been filmed.
Guys, that's not all. You know, we've always got more for you to see. Hit that box up at the top for our most recent video, and we'll see you in the next one. Talk to you then.